Thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm, and I created AfroEconomics. AfroEconomics is a strategic financial management program designed for the advancement of wealth within the Black community in America and abroad. We're going to talk about today debt freedom and credit confidence. And in the book, AfroEconomics, Our Black Wealth Matters, my first publication, also have the second publication, the workbook, and they work hand in hand. Each of them have a section in them that talks about credit confidence. Credit confidence is a big part of debt freedom. I want us to think about today and really focus on this. How is it that a family, let's just use it as an example, say you have one family that's bringing in $35,000 a year in income, and they decide that they have $40,000 in debt, and they make a commitment that they want to, pay off the $40,000 in debt. They're making $35,000 a year, and over 2 years they want to pay off that debt. They accomplish it, while another family making over $100,000 a year, and over 2 years they set the same goal, and they're not able to become debt-free, even though they're making almost 3 times as much money. Why does that happen? And I believe that there's just certain attributes that we need to think about. Grab my marker. Certain attributes that are a part and have become a part of a person that really wants to become debt-free. And on April 9th, if you're really convinced and you're really committed to this, check out AfroEconomics.com and the workshop that we're doing on discussing these type of things. We're going to go through the entire workbook on that. AfroEconomics.com, or the name of the workshop is refusetobebroke.com, and check out the websites and register, because we're going to talk about attributes such as this. So if you have the family who is not making that much money, but they've made a commitment, they're going to pay off the debt, they achieve it. Family making 3 times as much wants to pay off their debt, they don't achieve the goal. What are the differences there? Well, when you think about it, what do we need? What do we need to say, I want to have credit confidence, I want to be debt free? Well, I believe that the first thing, or a key thing, is to be organized, right? And I'm just putting these up here because a lot of times I say things and I hope that you can see it, but when you see it, I'm visual and audio, I'm all things. But let's add on another level. But let's make this 2-dimensional, so that you're going to really see these words and think about these attributes. We want to be organized, detailed oriented. Also, I see as part of being organized. But some key attributes of making a commitment, what your family has to do, what you have to do in order to develop debt freedom, is to become organized. Do you know how challenging it is for some people to simply participate in this discussion that I have for free each Wednesday at noon? That it requires a certain amount of organization. And those of you who follow me regularly, I don't take you for granted, because I know that it requires a commitment to be organized and managing your day and your life so that you can hang out with me for these few minutes. So what saying goes with your debts. Do you know where your bills are? Do you know what interest rates you're paying? Do you know what your balances are? Do you just take advantage of every offer that comes in the mail? Or are you organized and you've set up exactly how you're going to become debt free, and you know exactly what you have and what you're paying for each of the liabilities that you have in front of you and your family? So organization, these are the attributes of a person that's debt free and committed to credit confidence. Oh, what about this? And patience. I write a lot about patience because I believe that patience is a key part of wealth development. That being a patient person, it allows you to develop wealth. Many times it's the lack of patience that pulls people. They want to get everything quickly, or they just want to get rid of their problems, and it catches up with them later because patience is very important. So we want to be organized, we want to be patient, we want to have pure confidence. Pure confidence. Confidence to know, first of all, that I can do this. The confidence to get organized. The confidence to say, if I stay the course, that I can pay these debts off, that I can achieve the financial goals that I have for my family. So confidence, a key attribute of a person that's debt-free is confidence. They're a planner. I'll put this here. They're a planner. They don't just do things. They have a plan, a course of action, a plan. They plan. And of course, plans get taken off track. But you have to at least have a plan so that you know when things are off track. There's some things that happen in our life and it's not part of the plan, but at least you have a plan so you know when you're getting back on track, when you're getting back to the plan that you set for yourself. No, you gotta have a plan of action. I have a plan for everything, every day, every moment. That when we wake up, we should say, on this day, I do this. On this days, I do this. On this days, I do this. You have to have a plan in order to fit in how you're going to accomplish your financial goals in general. And especially if you want to be debt-free, you have to have a plan on how I'm going to eliminate these debts, how I'm going to make my life better. Because if you don't, then you're going to start accumulating debts. You're like, how did I end up the year that I'm becoming debt-free with more debts than I started the year with? Because there's always someone trying to sell you something. There's always somebody trying to sell you something, because that's the world that we live in. You have to have a plan that makes you committed to, I'm not doing debt accumulation. I'm decumulating. I'm getting rid of debt. I'm breaking it down. I'm getting rid of it, because that's your plan. They're responsible. I'll put it here. I hope you can see this, but they're responsible and write this. That's why the workbook has sections for just writing, because I feel that when we write things and we see it and we do a little bit of work, so don't just watch it. Maybe you'll hang out with me a little longer if you actually write these things down and think about I have to take responsibilities for these things. When you're a responsible person, you're no longer a victim. Of course, crazy stuff happens to us, and we got to deal with the consequences. But your credit score and your bill collectors and the people that you owe, and when you start having to pay more for things and insurances and can't get jobs because of credit scores, they really don't want to hear the excuses. A responsible person, doesn't make any excuses, which is one of the attributes I was saying. There's no excuse person. When you want to be debt free, you don't accept excuses. When you're responsible. I was just watching an interview, and they were interviewing a person, and they were talking about, they were just talking about luxuries of rich people. And the man was getting his airplane to match the vehicles that he has. Now, when many people see that, they see debt. But when I see that, I know that that person is so rich that they have the money to change the color of their vehicles themselves. They were paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars so that everything would have the same colors. I mean, that's what they were doing. Now, we're talking about a billionaire versus basic people doing some of these same type things. You see people that change their wheels or style of their vehicles or change cars, every year, because they always have, we cannot imitate. I would say an attribute also, and I don't have that one, but it's a person who does not keep up with the Joneses. But one attribute is materialistic, is not materialistic. You want to be debt free and you're not a billionaire yet, then you're going to have to accumulate these attributes of being responsible, not materialistic, and not trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? You're very responsible. You don't, focus your time on, changing colors of things and, and making sure that things match. I don't even know why CNBC would find that that's like really important to us, but, I guess I watched it. So, but it was in the middle of all the other business news, and they force these things on us. Is my goal in life for my cars and plane to match? No, it's not. But at least this did kind of make me think about it, didn't it? So what we need to do is realize that what we can afford, we can afford. What we have is what we have to be responsible for, and that we have to take the steps in order to, what do I need? What have I done? And if everything's looking good, then you got to take responsibility to keep everything looking good, right? And then you have to, if it's not looking good, then you have to take responsibility for what can I do to change these things and not get into the victim blaming and things like excuses. No. So they're responsible. They're a person that makes no excuses, right? None, no excuses, not materialistic. Yep, not materialistic. And I'm just like scribbling at this point. Not materialistic. And then I love this one. They're strong. They're strong. I love that word in general, but strong and willing to make sacrifices. I know that is a key attribute of being debt-free, but it is a key attribute of being a successful Black person in America or abroad. We have to be strong. We have to allow ourselves to take responsibility for ourselves in order to change the way that maybe it has been for your family for a few generations, but you can change it going forward. You can change things by making a strong commitment, by making sure that I believe that a true debt-free person makes sure that these attributes are not just for them, but these attributes are what goes through the fiber of everybody that's on their team. That these attributes are in the soul of their family, that they give these attributes to their kids. Too many people are in their 50s with a mentality that is sadly among too many people in their 20s. So imagine if you can take these positive attributes and give these to the young people that you know. And most importantly, make sure that you become the example that you want for everyone else. So we have to walk like we talk. We have to say, yeah, well, I did this wrong, but no, yes, I learned from these things, and now I do these these things. But I am very responsible. I'm very organized. I know where my money is going. I know what I'm spending my money on. I know what interest rates I'm in. I have a plan, and I have a commitment to be debt-free. In the back of Principle 8, in Principle, AfroEconomics is made up of principles because principles stay, I believe, principles stay and maintain through the test of time. But that credit confidence, being debt-free, is going to be a major attribute. It goes way before the beginning of our life as we know it. And that, when you owe somebody something, you're going to have a challenge. So what we know is that in order to have the ultimate freedom that we deserve, that we're going to have to get to a point where we don't owe people, that we are a representative of freedom. And that is not be in a position of somebody begging for payments from you all the time, that you could retire comfortably because you don't have a whole bunch of debts that you're accumulating while we're working. So our daily habits create the life that we have to live with. So we create these better daily habits of debt reduction or debt avoidance, and then you can have the freedom that you deserve. An interesting thing that I thought about when I was reading in the back of my chapter, I have like things that I want to remember, and I found an era or something that I want to to expand on, because I have as things for credit confidence, and I said a higher FICO score, the better your financial life. I must expand on that. Of course, we want higher scores, but that that's not really true. These credit scores are designed for people who like to have debt. So your highest score may go to the person that has the biggest amount of debt, because it's based on your ability or habits of paying back people. So many people who make high income do not accumulate a lot of debts. So I would rather you have a good score, but not a score that had to be created by having a lot of debts and a lot of different debts in different categories, because there's a lot of work that has to go into having what I think is 850, 850 is the highest credit score. That may have a lot of work in it and debts in it in order to generate that, because your credit score will go up when you have mortgage and credit cards and car loans, and it's not my goal in life to have all of these debts. So you only want to have the score that will just help you acquire things that you choose to loan money in order to acquire. But some of those things, like having a credit card balance, I can't encourage that, really. No, you use your card, but make sure you're only putting on your credit card what you can pay off each month. So by paying that off each month, it might not, for their computer's sake, generate the highest score, but you need to just make sure that you're setting up good financial practices for yourself. So do focus on becoming debt free and paying all of your debts on time and paying your debts off. That's a lot more important to not have the debts than to focus on having debts so that you can have a great score. Sad, but true. We are almost programming people that get this debt, and it's really, they go to college students and they're told, get this debt so that you can develop a score. A score for what? So that you're depending on a system all the time to acquire things. How about if we tell young people, start saving immediately so that you can purchase the car that you want, not get a loan for the car that you want. It is possible. It's possible. So let's make sure that I want to really focus on being debt free, having confidence about your credit, but also knowing that your truest confidence is going to be where you are not having to depend on begging people to finance every purchase that you want. You can get the assets that you want by saving for yourself in your future as well. And so a checkout principle 8 on credit confidence. Some other things here are pay everything on time. Employers check your credit reports. Be wary of low interest rate credit card offers that come in the mail. Be careful. Everything that looks good isn't good for you nor necessary. And move forward by establishing better daily financial habits. Yeah, so true. What we do each day definitely creates the financial life that we have to live with and retire with and pass on. So remember that the habits that you're creating, that your people, your family, your team, they're watching you. So make sure that you're living and becoming the example that you want to set. I read somewhere it said that your life can either be a warning or an example. May my life be an example and an inspiration, not a warning, right? So before you leave me, remember, check out the AfroEconomics, Our Black Wealth Matters at AfroEconomics.com, the book and the workbook. The next live workshop is on Saturday, April 9th in Richmond, Virginia. And it's on the website, refusetobebroke.com, the number 2, or AfroEconomics.com. It's there as well. I'm JB Bryan, and I'm the Chief Investment Officer and President at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics. Have a wonderful day. God bless you all, and I look forward to hanging out with you next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.